Hi. What's up? I was gonna film this outside, but then I got sidetracked because it was so nice and the wind was blowing and I had my books in my journal and I was just like, ah. Then 2 hours later I was like, oh, let me get from outside because I was baking. But happy twerks. Y'all know I'm not editing anything out. So today's video, we're back, entry number, you know the vibes. Entry number, I don't even know, but it's gonna be on the screen. We're gonna talk about, I was gonna talk about intention and desire, but we're gonna talk about, no, I don't wanna talk about that. We wanna talk about the energy of change. I kind of just talked about it in retrospect to retrograde. Okay, vocab. In retrospect to retrograde? Does that sound right? But I want to talk about it in a positive sense. If you are experiencing positive changes in your life and you're dealing with like self-sabotage, oh my god, all the birds just like came to my window. They're always here, but they all just like came in like a yang, like what's up, did I miss a meeting? But I want to talk about positive change and imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, all of that. Number one, stop thinking. Be a squirrel. I'm joking. Number one is, you may not always feel your title, but you don't have to necessarily live up to whatever title standards there are in the world. Because before, your favorite artist or painter was huge, they were just a painter painting on their canvas. That's it. And they probably, no matter how big they get, still see themselves as a painter. But you're talking to Picasso, you're like, bro, you're Picasso. Like, what? Like, I paint. Cool. What's up with you? You know what I mean? You're not always gonna feel it 100%, but just know that keep doing it. Keep doing it. Whatever you do, keep doing it. You don't always have to feel it, but just know the more you sit with that energy, the more you do it, you're gonna start to feel it. And they're gonna start to see it. If they're not seeing it, they're gonna start to see it. The more you do it and the more you tap into it, the energy, whatever you put your attention on, it's gonna grow and it's gonna manifest, it's gonna get bigger. Whatever you take your attention away from is gonna wither and it's gonna disintegrate, it's gonna go away from you. So if you're constantly thinking like, oh, my art's not good, it's not as good as that person, it's not Picasso. You think Picasso was just Picasso, like out the box, out the jump? Like, no, it took time to become Picasso, you know what I mean? Maybe his name was different before, but like everybody has their own experience and their own way of thought and thinking and their own journey. So like, remember that you're not always gonna feel it 100%, but keep fueling that energy and that attention that you have, pouring it into that regardless of whatever life brings at you, because that is what's important, to keep that one pointed intention. Ding. I feel like I'm like reciting all the things that I learned every time I come on camera, and it's actually so fun. But that's step one. Step two is be conscious of your environment, who you're around, who you talk to, who you share your things with. Because not only is that affecting your mental, it can affect your art. Whatever you do, if you start to feel negative about your art because someone else doesn't resonate or vibe with it, you might start to pour that energy into your art and be like, oh, this sucks, it doesn't sound good, it doesn't feel good. And then your art starts to actually become what you're saying that it's not, because you started to take in other people's perspectives that they're not making it. So like, it's not, if it's for them, I guess, but most of the time if you're creating and making stuff, it's to fuel you. Other people just get to enjoy it. You have to realize that. Like this video, whether you think I look crusty or whatever it is, like, it's for me. You can always click next. Do not hit the dislike. That's rude. Hit the like. But you can always go to a different video and find a different YouTuber who's gonna put on makeup and all this extra stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm not. When I want to, I will. If I don't, I don't. Because I'm beautiful. I am beautiful. Like, don't play with me. But number two is being conscious of your environment, who you are giving your attention, who you are around. Like, that has significant impact on you and how you view yourself, how you view your art, stuff like that. You gotta pick and choose. You don't always have to be chatting or going out to brunch, you know what I mean? Because what matters is you. What matters is you. So whatever you gotta do to protect that energy, do that. If you don't want to show them certain things, or like, you know, you want to wait until it's available to the public for them to see and give their opinion, like, okay, but be very conscious of your environment. And also, when I say environment, I also mean your living quarters, what you do, how you what's literally physically around you. Like for me, my bed sheets were not always white. I wanted white bed sheets because I was like, in content it feels like it looks a lot cleaner, and also it invites more light to reflect in the room. So there's a little mirror, I have a little plant, like you see, it just feels like the feng shui is a lot better. Before this, it was not that. It was not that. But this made me feel significantly better about how I start my days, when I film videos. It makes me feel like I don't have to do too much to show up for myself when I want to do something for myself. And it just, for my mental space, I would say it does a lot more. So it's the little things that can be slowly and subtly impacting the way you view yourself and your world. Because some people are waiting until they get the minimalist apartment with huge ceilings and granite this and no. You can watch a bunch of DIY videos on YouTube, whatever. It's about what you do with what you have, what you do with your space, what you do with your resources. Because if you don't know how to do with what you have, when you get more, you're gonna treat it terrible, and then you're probably not gonna have it. So number 2 is environment, and I guess it kind of taps into a third, is using, wait, hold on. It's the brain parts for me. Hold on, we're gonna do the little elevator music. Yeah. What was I about to say? Oh, self-sabotage. Okay, yes. Another tip, number 3, that I was tapping into was resources. I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to imposter syndrome, they feel there's a essence of lack there that they associate with themselves and with what they're doing. They're like, I feel like I don't have enough of this, or like I need this and I need this to get to where, like, there are, you know this, there are people who have way less than what you have that are doing so much more with it. So try not to harp on what you don't have, and focus on what you do have and what you can do with it. Go to the dollar store, see what they got up in there, and come back, and if you're gonna do a photo shoot, see what you can pull the pieces and make it work. Turn a shirt like this into a, turn it into a this. They're not gonna know. Just keep your hand like this. Like, sincerely, if it's just for a photo, if it's just for a little video, do that. Do what you gotta do. It's about what you have and what you can do. You can make nothing into something. That is literally a superpower, because if you can do that, you can be anywhere. You could be without luggage, without this, without that, and find a way to show up, look good, smell good, teeth brush, stuff like that. Tip number 4, which I feel like I always talk about, is consumption. What you are consuming. If you're constantly looking at other people, that's not very good. You want to be consuming things that are good for you. And you know, in these moments and these periods of self-doubt, which happen to all of us, I don't know how many times it happens to you on a weekly, daily basis, but it happens to all of us, and we get in our minds about stuff that we genuinely loved making, or like really rock with, because maybe a few comments, or our brain is telling us like, no, it's just, if you enjoyed the process of making it, all that energy that went into making it, and this is really me speaking to myself, all the energy that went into you making it is gonna be in that piece. So if you pour love into your painting, even if those few self-doubt, like when you actually put it out, that energy of love is gonna be taken in. Then you're gonna realize, like, why was I bugging? Because the energy that you put into something is the energy that you can get out of it. So remind yourself that you enjoyed doing it, you did it, release it for the sake of releasing it if that's what you want to do. There are plenty of things where you make it and you don't want to release it, or you just do it for the fun of it. But remembering that getting out of your own way means getting out of your head. Pushing the button, even if you have to do it with your eyes closed, pushing it and running away. because you're gonna be so glad that you pushed the button then, rather than a year later still being like, I don't know how to push the button. I'm trying, I don't know how to push the button. And you're comparing yourself to other people that have maybe been pushing the button and still in the same process as you, but probably doing it with their eyes closed, because you never know like what it takes for someone to put something out there. We don't know what everyone's thinking. We're thinking like, oh, they're so confident, they're so this. We got no clue. I don't know what's going on in their brain. I only know what is in my head. That's literally it. So that's tip number 4. And number 5 is, what's number 5? If there is a number 5. Number 5 is take time to reflect. Take time to reflect. To look at the progress you have made, big or small. That is very, very important. Looking at where you came from, it's, I don't want to say humbling, but it invites gratitude, because where you are now is not where you started. And I don't think that anyone can say that you're in the exact same place, or your art's at the exact same place that it was when you first started. No. Take those wins bit by bit and look at the progression and see where you are. You know where you want to be. There's distance, but now you're seeing where you are, because before you wanted to be where you are. Now you've worked your way to where you are. Now where you are from where you want to be, there's a little bit more. So focus on that. You've come this way, there's a little bit more until you get there, and use that as ammo, inspiration. Put those things around you. Do the vision boards, have pictures up, change your lock screen, stuff like that. Whatever you gotta do. If you gotta get on your knees and pray every day and be like Drake, or like say something, you know what I mean, say something like, oh, I really want to work for Fenty, I really want to do this, if every day you got to do that to keep that motivation, that ambition going for your day, do it. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's watching you. I mean, I am right now, but nobody's watching you. Whatever you do is your process, especially when it comes to creating. Do what you got to do to get your stuff done. Nobody can judge you, because at the end of the day, the product is what matters. The fact that you put it out. Would you rather be sitting here doubting the product, or put it out and be like, okay, I did that? Because that is already just a baby step to get you to where you want to be. Whether you see it or not, the fact that you even push the button is pushing you further to get towards pushing the button without closing your eyes anymore. So if you maybe are going through periods of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, stuff like that, remind yourself that you've come a long way. No matter the numbers, no matter the this, no matter the sales. If you're living off your art, I'm so proud of you. If you're not yet, I'm still so proud of you, because you'll get there. You will get there. You just gotta keep saying that. Believe until you become. Remind yourself that. Believe until you become. Believe, keep pressing, doing the work. And in those moments where you feel like you want to give up, or they're hard, or they're frustrating, like, remind yourself. Because those are the periods of growth, breakthrough. And they allow you to keep moving forward. Because there are so many people who, if they had listened to what somebody else said, or if they had listened to that inner voice in their head, they wouldn't be where they are. You hear it in the award acceptance speeches all the time, like, man, I wanted to give up so bad. Like, you hear that stuff all the time. It is so real. Everyone is human. Everyone that you're looking at, idolizing, they are literally the same being as you, going through the same thought processes, not knowing, like, is this good enough? Is this they're doing the same thing as you. Where you want to be, they're literally the same being as you. There's not much of a difference. You're one piece away, you're one sale away, you're one song away, you're not very far. So just keep doing it. And if you do have people in your corner that support you, hang on to those people. Not to attach too much, but remind those people that they are awesome, that you appreciate them. And yeah, so until the next entry, I'll see y'all later. Yeah.